Hi guys, well it's been a while since I've had a video uploaded. It's simply down to work commitments. I'm incredibly busy, working around the clock, 16 hours a day most days, and even working Saturdays and Sundays, so no time off. But in about 5 weeks time, I'm able to get away on holiday to the little island of Menorca, and the week after that I'm going to Milan for a week. So I've got something to look forward to. So all this hard work and you know, unsociable hours is paying off. You know, there's got to be some perks to working hard. Now this video is really just to quickly thank you all for all the new subscribers, all the positive comments, all the likes, and for all those guys who've been sharing my videos around social media. I really appreciate it. I love you just to bits, and I hope you're all living a happy, healthy and fit life using a carnivorous lifestyle. And basically the topic of this little video is why I eat 4 small meals rather than 1 meal a day. Now, over the last 6 months, I've done lots and lots of different experiments, trying different fasting, eating windows, trying 16-8, 24, 1 meal a day, doing the 4 small meals. And what I found was, on all of them, I lost an equal amount of weight. As long as I didn't eat too much food, I would lose weight. If I ate too much food, I would put weight on. If I ate just enough, my weight would, you know, plateau. So what I found was, if I eat multiple smaller meals within an 8-hour window, I prefer a small meal every 2 hours because it fits in with my routine. And I like those multiple small meals every 2 hours simply because I have something to look forward to every couple of hours. I love to eat. I will eat to the point of regurgitation. So if I've got a small meal, find my stomach crunches in around that small meal, it starts breaking it down, I start absorbing the nutrients, and I start, you know, digesting it thoroughly. But every 2 hours, I've got a little top up. So eventually I get fuller and fuller through that 8-hour window, and to the point where I'm really struggling to get my last of them 4 meals in. But it's easy to digest. It's not like I'm feeling bloated for hours and hours on end. And there is people who say that you can't store protein as fat, when you can store protein as fat. Obviously not as readily as storing fat on your body, you know. But eventually, if you eat too much, you will store protein as fat. The majority of your excess protein basically gets excreted out as urea, you know, a large majority of it. Hence why I like the multiple small meals. It gives me a chance for those small meals to get digested and absorbed and utilised as much as possible. Less wastage. And what I find is, I like being in a ketogenic state. I like the feeling of having ketones powering my body. And carnivore is a naturally ketogenic diet. You know, no carbohydrates, fats, proteins. You're going to get into ketosis really quite easily. But, you know, studies have shown, and, you know, from my own, you know, ketone analysis, if I eat too much protein, it knocks me out of ketosis. So I find if I eat the smaller amounts of protein in each meal, still ending up with a full amount at the end of the day, I keep in ketosis far easier and have a lot more energy. I find multiple small meals gives me a lot more flexibility. It allows me to have things like maybe a steak in the morning, a bit of pork next. I might have some bacon, I might have some chicken, or I could have had, you know, eggs or dairy, or my new favourite, and that is natural live Greek yogurt. I love that. I just like flexibility. I like to get my nutrients from multiple different sources. I see people on YouTube who are just buying huge big ass steaks, and yeah, there's nutrients in it. There is the protein, there is the fat. But if you really want to get the best out of those beautiful, delicious steaks, eat smaller amounts of it throughout the day to give your body more chance to digest it, absorb it, and utilize it more efficiently, more thoroughly, rather than just turning the greatest amount of it to ammonia, then to urea, and then peeing it out. Because that's just a waste of, well, money and goodness, I would have thought. Now, you probably think, well, who am I to be giving you all this advice and stuff? And the answer is, I'm just an average Joe. I'm just a guy who gets up, goes to work, and works hard. But I am an ex-personal trainer, not that that's anything amazing. And for at least 30 years, I've studied exercise, nutrition, and, you know, everything to do with lifting weights and pushing people to the limits and things like that. It's something I've been interested in for years and years. And as you'll probably have seen, there is an email address on the YouTube channel. And so far, I'm up to around about just short of 180 people have contacted me for help getting their carnivore diet experience on track. And one of the things I do is I ask them to send me a list of everything they eat over a week so I can see what they're doing. And it seems very obvious that most people are eating too much food. You know, some of these people are, you know, all different weights and sizes, you know, men, women, tall, short, it doesn't matter. They're all quite a wide range of different people. But they've all either plateaued or started putting weight on as a result of eating the amount of food they're eating. So it's very easy for me to go through it and plot a line through a chart and go, well, you know, on that day you ate, you know, far too much fat. That day you ate far too much protein, not enough fat. And it's easy for me to then put that into a calculation and come up with some figures. A lot of people are looking to make the carnivore diet as simple as possible and think that if they eat meat and fat, they can't store any of that as fat and that the calories don't count. And that's not true. We still have to take responsibility and accountability for how much we're eating. If we sit on our backsides all day, watch TV, play computer games, use a computer at work, but we're eating too much food, you're either going to plateau or more likely put weight on. If you're very, very active, and I mean really active, you know, out of breath and breaking a sweat all the time, constantly having to move, then yeah, you're going to burn off quite a lot of the excess food that you might be consuming. How much more, you know, some of these people consuming? Well, on average, probably about 30% more calories than they actually can burn off. A lot of people are confused about, if they're 250 pounds weight, they think they're big boned at 250 pounds weight. But if they're 40% body fat, you aren't 250 pounds of lean mass. You've obviously got to stand on a set of scales, work out how much your body fat is, and then feed the lean body mass, the muscles, the skeleton, your organs. You know, that good stuff needs feeding. The body fat, that's its own fuel source. And for all intents and purposes, body fat is like an organ, you know, it's got its own metabolic rate and things like that. You just need to tap into that with lower amounts of food. And I'm not saying that people have to starve, not in any way, shape or form, but I think you have to rethink how you're doing things. You can't just think, well, it's one meal a day, so that means all I can eat in that one meal because I've then got 23 hours to burn it off. It don't work like that. And whilst I wouldn't say I'm a massive proponent of calories in, calories out, it does work. Calories in, calories out does work. If you track it accurately and are very, very consistent, it works. So, for example, if someone eats 2,500 calories of meat and fat within one meal, but they actually only burn off 2,400 calories in that day, eventually they're going to put weight on. They might not have had a massive insulin spike. They might not have had any carbs or anything like this. But at the end of the day, if you're not burning off the food that you're consuming, you will eventually put weight on. And as we know, the easiest thing, or the easiest macronutrient to store as fat, is fat. So if you're eating big ass ribeye steaks, which some of them are 50% fat, but you're sedentary or have a light amount of exercise, where maybe as you get up and you maybe do a little bit of walking around and you've got a little bit that, you know, non-exercise activity thermogenesis going on, you'll find you'll burn off very little of that additional fat, and you know, a lot of it will get stored on your body. I know in a ketogenic state we oxidize a lot more fat than if we weren't in a ketogenic state, but if you're eating a lot of meat at the same time as your lot of fat, you're not going to be in a ketogenic state. Simple as. Hence why the multiple small meals. So please don't think it's a rant. We all make mistakes. I've made millions throughout my life. But the key thing, if you take anything away from this little bit of a wobble, is track everything you eat. Not just macros, track everything you eat. You know, I am actually writing a weight loss guide based on my experience of doing the carnivore diet. And I'm going to make it really, really easy to follow. It's literally going to be a few pages which tell you all about the macronutrients, no big words, no science or anything like that to bore people and confuse people. It's literally going to say what you eat, what's good for you, what you don't eat, and then there's going to be charts where you look up your body fat percentage, you look up your weight, it'll tell you based on your activity levels how much protein and fat to eat per meal. It'll also tell you how many minutes of walking a day you need to do to burn off 250 calories, and then another column which will tell you how many minutes of light activity you have to do to burn off another 250 calories. So my idea of losing weight with this little plan that I'm writing is not only are you losing body fat through restricting carbohydrates by eating slightly less but a highly nutritious and, you know, human appropriate diet, you're also being encouraged to do more activity, not so much exercise. Whilst exercise is amazing, it depends on your physical build and your size. Sometimes it's just not, well, it's just not achievable, and sometimes it's just not plain healthy to be exercising if you're very, very overweight, you know. So there's an emphasis in my little plan is to keep it as simple as possible. See how much protein and fat you can eat per meal. It's all calculated based on your weight and the amount of body fat you've got and your ability to break down fat from your stores. And it will also tell you how much exercise to do. So I'm probably about 60% way through that guide. I will make it available on the channel completely free of charge. It'll probably be about 30 pages in size. It's completely free. I don't need to make any money from it. All I want is for people all over the world to experience a carnivore lifestyle, get fit, healthy, and feel happy and great about themselves. I don't need to make money out of that, you know. At the end of the day, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, not a nutritionist or any of that kind of thing. So the guide is based on my experiences and knowledge I've picked up over 30 plus years. It seems to work for me, and it seems to be working for these 178 people. Since they've been following some of the guidelines I've been doing, they all seem to be doing really, really well. There's a few which obviously keep falling off the wagon and restarting and stuff like that, but it's like anything. You go on a diet and it's not dead easy to follow initially. If you're used to eating fast food, really tasty, you know, sodas and, you know, cheesecake and cookies and stuff like that, and suddenly you're told you can only eat meat and fat or animal products and fat, some people just gravitate towards it, other people find it more difficult. I naturally found it very, very easy, even though after the last video people were saying, oh, how very vegan, you're weighing things out. Phew, what a wuss. The thing is, I love fat, I love meat, I love animal products, and I weigh it out because I'm trying to get results. I'm older than quite a lot of people who do this diet, so my metabolism maybe is a little bit slower. You know, my body's ability to repair and to make changes is not going to be as good as someone who's 20 years old. It's hence why I've graphed everything, I've weighed everything, and I've tried to put my finger on the pulse of how my progress is going. So I know this video has ended up a bit longer than it probably was going to do, but I just wanted to check in. Obviously not in the most of amazing surroundings and things, even though I'm in a nice part of the world, it don't look great. I just wanted to thank you for, you know, your support in leaving me great comments. That is great. I've had a lot of negative comments, a lot of pretty brutal comments, and surprisingly not many from the vegan community. Most of the really nasty comments, and not just to me, nasty comments to the rest of you guys as well, have been from OMAD carnivore zealots. And I openly admit, OMAD works. Intermittent fasting works. Eating 4 small meals in 8-hour window works. Eating 4 meals throughout the day of fat and meat, or animal products and fat, works. But, you know, have a bit of flexibility, have a bit of understanding. Not everybody is the same, and I'm not coming to you with information just based on me. I've now got this body of people which have helped me understand everyone's different lifestyles and physical changes and things an awful lot better through the carnivore diet. So I'm on your side. I like eating animal products, and I want to see the quality of animal products go up. Not so much like go up in price, but I want the quality and the care of animals to increase and get far better, so we eat better animal products. It just kind of frustrates me that every time you try and pick holes in some of the inadequacies and inaccuracies of carnivore and keto, there's always a bit of a backlash. Some people just can't take a different point of view. But if you want to leave nasty comments, crack on. It don't bother me, but please understand, I just delete them. I only post positive comments because I run a positive channel. I run a safe channel where people who are feeling insecure, feeling confused, they can come, they can get support off other people in the same boat who are following a carnivore diet, get advice, and prosper as a result of it. I'm not going to allow negative comments which deride people and berate people and just, you know, try and confuse them even more than what they are. I'm not going to do that. If people want to fall out with me, that's great. That's fine. I've got an amazing delete button. So leaving nasty comments don't really achieve anything. But leaving good comments, I love it. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I've enjoyed reading the comments, and I love the community that we're starting to build. I just hope it continues to be positive and continues to grow in a, you know, a thoughtful and considerate way. So anyway, I've chewed your ears off enough. I'm going to get back to work, and I wish you all the best, and I wish you all happiness, success, and in health. Speak soon. Bye.